Catherine Deneuve has long occupied a fascinating place in cinema history, not because of shock value alone, but because of the way her image, choices, and performances challenged expectations in different eras. When people reference so-called topless photos that shocked everyone, what they are really pointing to is a broader cultural moment in which Deneuve's carefully curated image as a cool, elegant, almost untouchable French icon briefly collided with bolder artistic expression. Emerging in the 1960s as the embodiment of refined beauty, she became synonymous with grace, restraint, and Parisian chic, especially through films like The Umbrellas of Cherbourg and Belle de Jour. In that context, any appearance that departed from her famously controlled persona naturally caused discussion, not because it was explicit, but because it subverted what audiences thought they knew about her. Unlike modern celebrity culture, where revealing images are often used for instant attention, Deneuve's moments of exposure were tied to artistic intent, character exploration, or the changing attitudes of European cinema toward the human body. French film and photography have historically treated nudity with a different lens than Hollywood, viewing it less as provocation and more as a storytelling or aesthetic device, and Deneuve's work sat squarely in that tradition. What shocked some viewers was not the imagery itself, but the contrast between her icy, composed screen presence and the vulnerability implied by such scenes. Over time, these moments have been reassessed less as scandals and more as reflections of an actress unafraid to take risks within meaningful projects. Deneuve never relied on sensationalism to sustain her career. Instead, she built a body of work spanning decades, collaborating with legendary directors and evolving gracefully with age. The conversations around these photos also reveal how society's standards shift, as what once caused outrage can later be seen as tame, tasteful, or even empowering. Today, Catherine Deneuve is remembered not for a handful of controversial images, but for her enduring influence on fashion, film, and the idea of feminine mystique itself. Her legacy shows that true impact comes not from shock alone, but from consistency, depth, and the confidence to redefine oneself without apology, even when public expectations push in the opposite direction. Catherine Deneuve's image has always been tied to elegance, mystery, and artistic courage, which is why moments often labeled as shocking drew so much attention. Rather than being about provocation, these appearances reflected the changing attitudes of European cinema and her willingness to serve the story above her carefully polished public persona. For audiences used to seeing her as distant and refined, such scenes felt surprising, yet they ultimately reinforced her reputation as a serious actress unafraid to explore vulnerability. Today, these moments are remembered as part of a rich, fearless career that helped redefine femininity on screen. As a symbol of refined French cinema, any moment that revealed vulnerability or bold artistic choice naturally sparked conversation. These images were tied to storytelling and the freer attitudes of European film, not cheap sensationalism.